it's good morning. For you, it's probably good evening. I got myself in a real, not a mess, but quite a project today. My lithionic battery came in, so I went over to Sarasota to pick it up, and they didn't have time to install it. And I'm glad they didn't, because this would have been an expensive job. So I took it home, and this is the mess that I'm in. Let me show you. Oh, what a mess. So there's the original battery. Before you can even get to that battery, you basically have to undo this whole lower frame, and there's a zillion freaking screws in this thing. And then you got to undo part of this here back screen canvas, and even then, in order to take this whole thing out, you have to take out the whole top, and I didn't want to have to get involved in that. So basically, I was able to undo the frame here for the battery. There's a metal frame right here, and this stud goes right through here, and it just bolts down. There's one on the back too that is really hard to get to if you can't take this off. So I was able to wiggle the battery out enough so I could get to the positive cable here. So I grabbed a couple of these 3-foot double aught AWG cables. Here it is right here. So pretty much this is the cable that they use right here. That's their cable. This is my cable that's going to go over here to that battery. From what I'm gathering, you gotta have the heaviest cable you can get, and that was the only thing available to me. So there should be no or very little step down between the amperages on these two batteries. Now, before you get involved in this, you need to shut off your solar panels. Then you got to shut off your battery. This is a shut off for your battery. Then you got to go on the, what I did is I went on the battery. There's a button on the battery on these things. These batteries are like little self-contained units. This is your on and off button. Let me make sure there's nothing here. Okay, let me put that on. See the little blue light? That means this battery's live now. So to shut the battery off, you just hold your finger on there until the light goes out. It takes about 4 or 5 seconds. And then on this battery, the same thing is way back there. I'm not going to turn this one on because I got cables here that are live, and I don't want them grounding out on anything. So you shut off all the batteries. So this battery, you can touch anything with the positive. Basically, this on and off button right here shuts off the juice going to the positive post. So this battery is basically dead. So make sure you do that before you do anything. Let me go back here. Okay. So I was just able to install this here cable. Now he said these batteries have internal breakers on them. He gave me a couple of these 200 amp breakers in case something happened between this battery and that battery. These breakers would just shut right off. But the problem is I couldn't get the breaker up here on this one because there's a metal frame over here underneath here. Let's see if I can show you. I don't know if it's going to show. Yeah, there it is. See, there's a metal frame right here. And that post, when you go to put this thing on, it's really, really close to this here metal frame, and I was really concerned about this thing grounding out on that frame, so I opted not to put a breaker on here. This battery here has, this is your breaker for this battery, plus the battery has an internal breaker on it, and this is what the breaker looks like here on this one. So what I may do is that I may leave this breaker on here, so if something happens between this battery and that battery, let's say this here over the years, you know, rubs and somehow this here grounds out, that breaker will isolate that battery. And then this battery has two breakers on it that will isolate this battery. It'll shut it right off. So I think that's the way I'm going to go, because I know this is going to be a problem. There's very, very little room up here. So, and I have some of this black wire coating that I'm going to put on these two lines also, the negative and the well, probably don't need it on the negative, but I'm definitely going to do it on the positive here. So this battery will, this cable will be double protected. So my plan is to put the battery right here, and you can see how the cable's long enough, so that won't be an issue. The three foot cable's good, and I got this here cable at Harbor Freight. So they have these at Harbor Freight, 29 bucks, I believe, for this. I paid for this cable. The best deal I could get on this battery was $4,500. Everybody else was quoting me $6,000, $65,000. One place was $7,000 for this battery. Unfreaking believable. But that's what I shopped across this country. I even call Lithionics themselves. They won't deal with the public. You have to get it through some sort of licensed dealer, and I got it through van line service away in Sarasota. They have a connection with Lithionics, so they got it for me, and they gave me the best price they could. So now I have 640 amp hours. I should be able to run this AC up here for at least 8 to 10 hours on low, that's what I wanted. In case I have to leave Henner in here if I go for a 8-hour hike in the mountains out west, I'll leave her in here with the fan or the AC on low, and she'll be fine. I didn't want to have any issues, and it will allow me to stay out a long time if I don't have to use the AC. Because I'm not going to invest in a lot more panels. I thought this would be more economical for me, and if I have to start the motor for an hour a day to throw some juice into these two batteries, that's what I'll do. I've been reading up too. These because of the emission system in this diesel here, they really don't want you to idle a lot, you know. Like if this thing were strictly in the city and you were in constant traffic, stop and go traffic, you'd have a problem. It's very expensive to clean out this carbon buildup that's in there. It's hard to explain, but there's a filter underneath that the DEF fluid absorbs a lot of the carbon from the exhaust, and it builds up in this filter that's up here underneath the frame, and you need to get on the highway every once in a while to build up the heat and burn all that carbon out of that filter. If you don't, and that gets clogged, I saw online it was like $6,000 or $7,000 repair job to fix that system. So you can idle these things, but you need to do some highway driving to clean out the carbon filters. So keep that in mind. you know, an hour here and there for a week isn't going to hurt it. But if you're just sitting for weeks and weeks and just idling for hours and hours, you're gonna have a very big expense on your hand. So keep that in mind. Idling is okay, but you need to get out on the highway and burn that particular filter that's up front. Okay, learning a lot on this system. I mean, it is very, very I can see why this thing has so many. It's so easy for this thing to go buggy on you. Jeez. So let me finish with this. I just installed the plus cable. Now I'm trying to wiggle this thing in enough, but enough in order to expose the negative, because now I gotta put the negative cable on here, and it's got to go over this here frame metal. Oops, sorry. It's got to go over this here metal frame. This is the positive, the negative that I need to adapt to it now. So I will get back to you after I have all the two cables hanging out and all this re-screwed in place, and then I will I'll have you come back when I situate this battery, and then we have a tie down here. It's one of those little loops. There's another one right here. So I have a strap. So I'm going to run the strap over the battery to tie it in. And then when I go out to California to pick up my GSLL from Canyon Van Supplies, this will all be in a cabinet. There will be a cabinet that goes basically from the edge of that door over. So this is going to fit in there nicely right in this corner. And then I'm going to make a little box to go over this so nothing touches these posts. You know, if I throw stuff in this cabinet for storage, I don't want this thing grounding out on me. So this should work out pretty well. Excuse me. Okay, let me get at this. Oh, in case you want to know, there's your inverter, 2,000 watt inverter. And again, I don't know if you can see this back there. Right here, that's your shell of the van. There's no insulation in this whole compartment that I can see. Not even the gray foam. Nothing. There's nothing here. Again, I don't know if I can get in there. I can't. I'd have to take this whole side apart, so I'm not going to get involved in that. But again, you know, I very disappointed with Winnebago. Very disappointed. I thought they were a reputable manufacturer. Very disappointed in some of the quality here. That's all I'm going to say right now. But anyway, okay, let me get back to all this, and we'll talk to you in a little while. All right, I got to show you something. I think everybody that has this van should do this. This is definitely a problem down the road, especially if you're doing a lot of washboard, if you're doing a lot of back roads that are really rough. You're going to get a lot of vibration back here. So let me turn this around and show you. Well, basically, So basically, you have a heavy-duty wire like this. That's, I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? Let me show you on the other side. Back there, this battery is about 2.5 inches from the back wall, which is all metal. But there's a bar like this coming up, and there's this here bar that this here stud goes up into, and then you crank it down. This is part of the frame to hold the battery in. Well, you have one of these on the opposite side. You have two main runs, positive wire, and for some reason there's a there's a connection bar right here in the back where you have your main run. I guess it's coming up from up front, or maybe from over here. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but it's coming up this way to a connection bar, and then it goes from there and it runs over here to this main shutoff. That's right here. Well, what's happening is, I'm going to show you on this side what it's doing on the other side. This red cable is up against this bar, and there isn't a lot of slack back there to move it. So my concern is, over time, you're on rough roads, this is going to keep sliding like this, and this positive is going to ground out on this frame. I know it is. In fact, I read an article on the 4x4 Revel 4x4 forum where somebody else had gone in here to do something, and they saw, oh, he was smelling rubber burning or something, and so the next day he went in here to check this out, and he found out that one of these cables, I assume it must be this one here, it was in the back of the battery, it was rubbing against the frame. And so I think I found the same problem right here. So I have, where did I put it? There it is. I have some of this heavy duty additional cable sheathing that I'm going to put over this. And then I'm going to use Gorilla Tape. I'm going to reach back there and I'm going to put a couple of rolls of Gorilla Tape right in this, for some reason, right in this area to give it a lot more insulation. There's really, I don't know what else to do. Like I said, there isn't a lot of slack to like move this cable over. It's really tight, and I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. This is something that you should probably do for preventive maintenance. Otherwise, down the road, I'm surprised it hasn't happened to anybody yet, but I can see the sharp edge wearing away at this here positive cable. Let me see if I can get on the other side to show you where it is. With me here a minute. See if I can get my phone in here. Let me take it off the frame. All right, let's see if we can get you in here somehow. All right, there's the red cable right there, and there's another one on the other side. Right up here, there's a connection, like a double, where they have a splice, but it's the cable bolts into one side, and then this red cable over here ties into it. Come on, focus. Oh, what's going on here? Come on. There it goes. So you see this red cable? It's right up against this plate right here. There it is right there. So they took care of this one, but they didn't do this one. And this is a black ground, so I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about this red cable. It's right up against this bar right here, and I know it's going to wear. In time, it's going to wear. So this is what you got to do. Let me back off real easy here so you'll see where it is. See? So you got to undo all this. I put a 2x4 down there to help keep this thing pried open, and now you can reach. Oh, come on. Bear with me here. There isn't a lot of room. So you can see how much room there is here between the metal frame and this, but you can reach in here and take care of that. I would definitely do that, or you're gonna, this is a problem in the making. Okay, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. Okay, back again. All right, let me get these. All right, so, well, where are we? All right, so here's that bus bar I was telling you about up here. You see there's a power line coming in here, and then here is the other one coming out. And you can see this was a real pain in the ass, but I got that black wire on here now. Now I feel better, it's protected. I don't know why they didn't put that back here. So there, I thought that bar was lower. This here connection bracket or whatever it is, I thought that was lower, but it's up here. I found it, so I thought I'd show you. So it's above the battery. There's the battery right here. It's above the battery, and you can see it when from this side here, looking in. You can take a flashlight. You'll be able to see it up here. So you need two hands. This black stuff is really hard to get on, but you can do it. I cut an 8-inch piece. I didn't do the whole thing because it's pretty well just in the air beyond this here battery bracket. It's just floating, that cable. It's not going to be touching anything, so I didn't bother doing the whole run. So okay, try to get out of here now. Sorry. All right. I got to retract from my previous statement how they didn't insulate back here. I did find some insulation around here. So right behind the battery box, they do have a little bit of insulation. Let me see if I can zoom back out. There we go. See, they do have a little bit of foam back here behind the battery, and my hand is on this here metal box that's underneath the battery system here. Man, is that cold. I don't know if they have it on rubber. No, I can't tell. No, they don't. So the cold is coming from the frame. This is the frame, and they got this metal box screwed screwed right into the deck. So the cold is being transferred from here to this metal box, but this metal box is kind of just floating. It's not touching the battery box, but anyway, I got to retract. They did put insulation back here, only behind the battery. The rest of it down there, there's no insulation. So I don't know if this is I'm sure it's helping a little bit, but I think it's useless unless they do the whole wall. So I just have to show that, so I can give them credit for at least trying here. But whoever's in charge of this phase of construction, they need to be retrained, I guess. Yeah, see, they just have that 3/4 inch foam up here. There's still another 1.5 inch air gap behind this metal plate. All right, I'm not gonna do anything. It's so little. This little square is just, I can't really get in there, so I'm not gonna go any further with trying to insulate behind this bay. I think we're just gonna leave that for now. If I have an issue, I could throw some insulation, those bats. I could put a bat behind this battery and just insulate between the outside and the battery. This battery's pretty cold right now too. Well, it's been off all night, so see, in between here, there's a huge, probably 3-inch gap here. I could throw a bat in behind here if I had to. And then underneath this here, there's another 2-inch gap here. I could throw a bat of insulation underneath there too. I think we'll hold off on that for now. My main concern is just to get this battery back in place. I got this plate back on. This was a job and a half, getting that plate back on here. But it's in. It's in. Now we're going to put this panel back in place, and I can connect the positive. There's plenty of room there for me to work, so I want to get this all back installed. All right. FYI, I forgot to tell you this at the beginning. If you do attempt this, they have these weird, I've never seen them before. They're these locking hex nuts that have a, they call security hex nuts. See that little nub in the center? So you can't use a regular hex to take those terminal posts apart. you have to get one like this that has a little hole in them. They call them security hex set. I had to go to one of the AutoZone, one of those auto places in town here, and pick up this whole kit. You can't buy them separately, and this is the one you need right there. I forgot what it is, a 1/4 inch or something like that, but it was like $12 for this whole kit. So, and this whole kit is security hex, and then you have your tri-star here, and then you have your regular hex nuts down here that has a little hole in the center. So be prepared. You're going to need one of these to get in there. There's no way you can undo that without this little kit right here. Again, it was like $12.90 something, $12.99 at AutoZone. I think it was AutoZone I went to, or O'Reilly's. We have both of those in town. I forgot the name of the one that I actually got them, but they all have these in stock. And then you just put this little bit on a little 1/4 inch or 3/4 inch, I believe it is, ratchet, and you'll be able to get those off. The battery, the secondary battery, they sent me these regular hex nuts. They didn't send me the security, so there's no issue with adding the second one. It's just trying to get the terminals apart up here is the issue. So, all right, go out hunt if you're going to do this project. Especially insulate that line in the back. Well, unless you may not have to use that. If you're not going to touch these cables, if you're not going to add another battery, then you won't need that hex nut, because you'll be able to reach over the top, and then you'll be able to reach behind the battery to do that wire insulation, put that sleeve on there. So you'll only need that hex kit if you're going to add another battery. All right. Well, so far, knock on wood, I got everything on. I turned the main on. Then I turned both batteries on. They're both blue. They were both on. Then I turned the solar panels on. I'm reading 13.5. I don't see any smoke coming up anywhere, which might be a good sign. All right. Now I'm going to go to the app and see if the Lithionic app will distinguish the two batteries. All right, let me see if I can do this. I'll try to get it on the screen here. All right, let's see if we can get to the Lithionics. There we go, up there. It does. It's showing both of my batteries. Okay. So, which one is which? I wonder if that, let me look at the serial number on here and see which one is which. 74221. No, model number, what do we have here? 2245, 2245. This one down on the floor says 2245, which is the top battery. And let me see what we have up here, if I can get to a number up here somewhere. No, I can't see it. So, oh, I know how I can do it. Let me shut the battery off. The one on the floor, let me shut that off. All right, that one is shut off. Oh, that didn't make any difference. Let me go into it. That's the one that was on the floor. Okay, waiting for data. So if that battery's shut off, it's probably not going to send any data, right? All right, let me turn it back on. All right, it's back on, so let me hit that again. Yeah, okay. So the top one is going to be the auxiliary. I'm at 99% full. Okay, 13.5 voltage. No current right now. Okay, so let's go back. Oops. Let's go and do the one on the bottom. This is 99%. Okay, so they're both at 99%. 13.5. No status code. I have 14 days, 7 hours at whatever, but it says I'm not. Oh, here we do have a draw. I wonder what that is. 1 amp. I'm drawing 1 amp right now. Okay, no codes. All right, let's go back. Let's do the one on the floor again. 99. All right, so that's the same amperage. I'm drawing 1 amp. I have 13 days, 7 hours left on this battery. Okay. Status is on. Okay, so we have the both batteries working, and they're showing on the app their status. Okay. All right, so let's get it back out. Okay, so I got it wrapped here, going all the way up to the terminal, so there should be no problems here. Ground that's not going to be a problem. So this one here is when I go to the app, the top one is this one here, and I can rename those two. I can name it auxiliary, and then the other one I can name is main. So this will be the main and the auxiliary. Okay, I can do that later. Right now, let me strap this, and then we'll have to figure out how I'm going to do this cover. I'm going to have to notch out the top here. Or I may go to Lowe's and get one of those like through the cabinet grommets, and then I'll put a grommet here and a grommet here, and then I'll just have this cabinet come right through that grommet. It's a nice little finished. So let me head over to Lowe's, see if they have, because I know they don't have this in this little town that I'm in. So I'll have to go to Port Charlotte to Lowe's. Let me do that, and then when I come back, we're packing, because we might be leaving tomorrow. All right, guys, let me strap this and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys, we're done. I didn't go for the grommet because it wasn't going to work. In the back, there's like a channel. And the grommets wouldn't have worked here, so what I did is I just notched out just a little bit. I used a keyhole saw around, where is it, right here, that I use when I install locks on doors. This here is just a drill bit that goes into the edge of the door for your striker. Anyway, that worked out good, and then I just snipped coming straight up from the bottom, and that's nice and clean. Yeah, it looks good. You're not going to see it anyway, because I'm going to have that cabinet. We're going to have that cabinet over here anyway. But anyway, that looks really nice. And this thing, look at it, that's not going anywhere. This is secured. I think that's the way I'm going to leave it. So far so good. I still don't see or smell any smoke. So yeah, I'm happy when things come out right. All right, so I don't have to go to the hardware store, so I guess we're going to stop packing. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one, and maybe I'll be on the road. Who knows? All right, have a good week. Catch you on the next video. All right, bye.